Hello guys, so in today's video I will be going over sorcery PvP. With this particular build I have gone precision based, I've gone restored and precision, and it's a hybrid build, and this build is perfect for very high damage. So let's go over the build. Let me go somewhere where there's no people. Okay, perfect. So let's go over this build and how I've spec'd. Before going into the loadout, I will show you how I've spec'd in my stat books. So I've gone super powered. Yeah, just checking my mic. Okay, so I have gone super powered. You can go hybrid for the extra restoration and dominance. It's totally up to you, but I've gone super powered, so I'll get the most power as possible. I can go weapons expert for the 10% weapon damage, but in PvP you tend to lose a lot of power. So I've gone 20 into critical healing chance, 20 into healing magnitude, 10 into the attack chance, 10 into attack damage, and then I have maxed out my restoration. Then I'm going 56 into precision. So right now I am using martial arts. Martial arts out of all the weapons hits the hardest in melee. So as usual I've gone into all of my martial arts tree, and then I've gone into the dual pistols tree to get this and this. So gone into all the dual pistols, and to get this and this I've gone all into hand blasters. So now after I have gone into dual and pistols and hard hand blasters, I expect into these four down here. Now onto my loadout. So I've gone circle of protection. It heals me when I stay underneath it, and any allies if I'm PvPing in the arena. Rejuvenate, it heals myself and others. Hard light shield is pretty good, or sometimes I might change this out for this if I'm doing an arena 2 versus 2 or 4 versus 4, or I'm in a group killing villains. Then this is the key thing here, weapon of destiny. As soon as I hit this power, it will increase my precision by 9%, I believe, or is it 8% increase of damage. So now this karmic suspension lifts your enemies into the air, dealing damage while restoring supercharge. So that is key right there. Supercharge, I need this supercharge up quickly as possible, so I can spam this. This is for my survivability in PvP. So now if I go into my iconic powers, I've gone into hard light and pheromone bloom. And I will tell you why I've gone into that, which it has something to do with my artifacts. So right now my PvP is 95, and I am kicking ass. I'm beating 101 PvP players in the arenas and in the watchtower because of this precision build. Well, it's not 100% precision, but it does enough damage to defeat him. So now onto my artifacts. So now Eye of Gemini plays a key role in Pheromone Bloom. As soon as I activate the supercharge itself heals me naturally. Then I get the extra healing from the Eye of Gemini. Now Demon Fang, this gives me a lot of power back, since I'm precision based and I will be using my weapons all the time, so I don't need to worry about power anymore. And then Orb of Orion is whenever I hit this power, a pet will come out, and this pet will heal me from 0 to 100% health every time. It's pretty good to use when you're fighting against people. It doesn't work in arenas, So in arenas I will change this loadout, but I will show you the arena loadout after I've done this. Okay. So that's the loadout, and the extra things I've gone into is my trinket. This gives me a shield and gives shields to other people once I activate it. So let me activate it. That's one. Now when I hit again, I need to press melee, and if you see the electric stuff around me, there's my shield. It only lasts for 2 or 3 seconds. And now this is my restoration buff. Anytime I need to use it, I will use it. And my breakout trinket, this I use against trollers. As soon as I see the heal debuff and my health is low, I pop this. So I pop this and this. It gives me 100% health every time. And sometimes I will clip this with it as well and then hit this, so it gives me the maximum healing on my healer when I'm fighting against trollers, or if anyone is using PvP grenades against me. And then my supply drop is a supply drop, of course. This I will change and put in the city soda if I can find it. It is here somewhere. There you go. So then that gives him that extra healing as well. I would never use a soda or a supply drop in a duel, but against villains in the open world, of course, whatever goes. We use a supply drop, my soda, everything to defeat them. So now let's head over and let's fight some victims, and I'll show you how good this loadout actually is. Let me tell this guy to fight me. Fight me, making a video. Okay. So now I forgot what power this guy is, but that. So I use my breakout trinket so I can get back off the floor as quickly as possible. As you can see, I'm doing a lot of damage and I can heal well as well. Now I can hit my circular protection and my healing move. You can see the pet is out and it's healing me pretty good. And I'm barely losing any power at all. Now I can do this, block break him, then hit my shield. He block break me, that's no problem, and he should die. Oh. There you go. So that's a loadout right there. If you really want to go full precision or close to full precision as you can use this, because every time I use a cross combo it gives me that extra precision. And then I would leave this in unless you're fighting against a DPS, then you can pretty much try to kill them before they kill you, but I would keep this in as always. Haha, very funny. So that's for the maximum damage. But if you still feel you need IO Gemini to fight against controllers and PvP grenades, which I might use against you, then you can keep your IO Gemini. So that's the loadout for PvP outside arenas. So this loadout is, I would say, it's a balance between healing and damage. Like I said, you can switch out all of the artifacts for full precision and go out all damage. Now for my damage side, I will of course take this out and I would use Cog of Megadon. And then per se my healing, my DPS loadout, or we have Circle of Destruction. This I will keep in there so I can heal back. This, it depends. I can either have this in here, or I can have a shield, or I can have this. It's totally up to you. I can use this or I can take this out. But what I have come across what I've come across is the highest damage is by using this loadout here. Boon of Souls takes in a tiny bit more damage in DPS role compared to Hardlord Shield because of the lessened restoration when in DPS role. So I would use that, and then this and this. Then this, you can switch this out and you can have an extra shield for extra protection, or you can use one of these healing powers with damages and heals any damage the opponent does. So with a DPS spec is varies. You can use Soul Saipon, any damage they do against you, you get the healing back. You can get very creative with this, you can spec it as how you want. For maximum survivability in DPS role, just go 2 shields. Make sure you have Weapon of Destiny, so you can always get that extra precision buff, and then this is the damage over time. With this combined is very good. So let's see how this does now. Let's give this one more time. Where's it gone? There you go. And if it accepts, and it has. So now I am in DPS mode. So as you can see, the damage is slightly higher. I can use this while I'm controlled, so which is really good. Oh, he countered me. Quickly clip that and this. As you can see, that artifact is less effective in DPS role, but it still does a decent amount of heals compared to the healer role. Hit my immunity and then my healing and nearly got full health because it removes any effects. See, when I get knocked down, I can use that shield. The only issue with this move is you can be broken, and then I defeated him. So I'm lagging there, but that is the DPS side of it. Now for the arena side, I would go and change. First, let's go to my loadout. We'll change this. This is the arena loadout, by the way, and I would go into this. And this you don't really need. I would use Soul Well. That's to heal. This one you can use for the stuns, but I would rather go with, where's it gone? Karmic Backlash. Remember to keep this for the weapon buff, because you will be using the weapons inside the arenas. So that's a heal. Rejuvenate is to heal yourself and others in the group. If you're by your own, it will only heal you. This is to, you can use it while you're being controlled, usable while controlled. So if you're in the stun, you can hit that shield to prevent any damage while you're being stunned on the ground. And this loadout, you can use this instead of this. This and this combined heals you a lot, but for healing over time when you're in 2s or 4s, I think Soul Well will do much better compared to just this, because this and this gives you healing over time to everyone who's close by. So that is PvP sorcery for you guys. I've gone over the healing aspect and the DPS side and even the arena healing side. Now the DPS arena, this is a bit tricky, so I would keep this in to heal yourself in DPS world. Of course have a circle of destruction, I will take this out and I will have Shard of Life. So now you get potentially 1, 2 healing moves in here as a DPS, and I will still use the same combos because they're really good and they do a lot of damage compared to other weapons for melee and range. No, sorry mate, I can't do right now. So just a quick overview of the weapon cross combos. Let me go to my weapons. So the first one is called Loft Shot Mastery. To activate this, it says tap 1 and hold 2 times. So you can do tap, hold. As you can see at the bottom, it said Loft Shot Mastery. Now let's go back to martial arts, and this is very good for the quick and high damage. Now this takes a bit longer, but it does slightly more damage compared to this. With this I can hit the average of 5k. With this I've hit sometimes up to 10k and above. Takes a long time to get this activated, but once you get it activated, hits very hard. 1, 2, 3, 4, hold. There's a sweep shot mastery for you. Now with this and this, so this is still tap, but it's hold 2 times. Before this was tap once, hold. Now this is tap, hold, and that's your other weapon combo. And I forgot what that's called, and that is called uppercut mastery. That comes from the hand blasters. This does around 8k to 7k damage. Now with this one, you need to hold 4 times. This is the ranged one, only ranged one we have, because these are all melee, which is why this particular weapon combo, weapon mastery, hits the hardest, because it has 3 melee weapon masteries. So they're called cross weapon combos. Now with this one, you have to go full range, so it's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoops, I messed that up. So with this you have to be very careful not to click off the mouse. So hold 4 times. 1, 2, 3. I messed it up again. It is very hard to get this one. 1, 2, 3. There you go. Meteor Blast Mastery. I'm still getting used to this one here, but with more practice I'll be able to get it down every time. Let's try again. There you go. And this hits an average of 3 to 4k on a ranged target. So it doesn't do as much damage, but when you do this, it stuns the person and it forces them to block. Then you can go into your other combos and get them down with the damage while they're trying to get back up. Because if you go to your weapons, and where is it gone? So the one I'm looking at is, where is it gone? There you go. So flings a barrage of many small shrunken in a cone in front of you. Throws a charge shrunken at the enemy. So these are block breakers, of course, and they stun a lot when you use them against someone. It does a lot of damage. So hopefully this sorcery, PvP sorcery guide was helpful, and hopefully I answered some of the questions you might have had with this power, whether it's good for PvP. Hopefully this loadout was useful for anyone out there. Now let's go over my stats. So now my restoration in healer role, right, okay, let me hit my armory again. It's got the wrong artifacts. Okay, so now my restoration is 10.8k and my precision is 4105. So this is in my healer role. So now if I go to my DPS role and change this over to Kogo Megadon. My restoration drops in DPS roll, always it drops, but my precision has gone up by, I would say, around 500, 400 extra precision I have gained. Now if I go to my healer roll with the same artifacts, you see my restoration has increased to 10k. Then I go back to my DPS, that reduces by 2000 restoration. So to do the most healing, you need to be in healer role. You can still heal in restoration by using your Orb of Orion artifact. Then keeping these two, as you can see in the message, it says hitting an enemy with cross weapon combo attack grants you and up to 7 group members precision equal to 1% of your health. So 1% of my health is gonna be divided by 100, that's gonna give me roughly around 222 precision added to whatever this value is. So that's going to take me up to 4.7k precision. And then this one here, while empowered, your next 6 weapons deal extra damage to your primary target equal to 7.4% of the restoration. So the more restoration you have in healer roll, the harder this will hit. So I can't deal with it. And it also gives me power equal to 2% of my restoration. So the power back from that Demon Fang artifact and healer roll and DPS roll, it works out very well with this build, because I have put everything into restoration, then I have gone into precision. I can go weapons expert, but I realized when I'm dueling in the watchtower or in the open build, every time I hit my number 2 power, I nearly lose half of my health bar. So I'd rather stay super powered for the extra 25% power regen, and then go full healing, then the rest go into precision. Right now I have 411 skill points, which I think is enough for this build. Anything lower than 280 you will struggle with this build. So for anyone who is lower than 280, I would suggest you go into hybrid or weapons expert, but I would say hybrid, and use a Demon Fan artifact and try to max out your restoration. If you have enough to go into your weapons and precision, please do so, but if you do not, please max out the restoration. And then with your hybrid build and your Demon Fang, you will get double power back, so that will help you to stay alive if you have the low skill points. If you don't, you can go super powered, or you can go hybrid, it's totally your choice, but I prefer super powered because this artifact uses a lot of power and I want to have the maximum power as possible. So hopefully this guide was useful for some of you guys, and if you do have any questions, please let me know in the comments below regarding this power, and I will do my best to explain it. Thank you for watching.
Fight. Win.
So now that was me dueling another healer. He could not heal himself from the high damage. So that's how you use this build. Make sure you always have that Weapon of Destiny activated and then go into your combos Like you saw, the tap, hold was the quickest way to take his health down. So I'm gonna be doing more people in the watchtower just to show you guys how good this build is. And I am in DPS role. Now this is a controller. Look at the damage I'm doing on him. Now I'm gonna heal myself. Can you see the healing isn't as effective, but and he's dead. Now let me see if this guy will do me, but no, he's dealing someone. Let's see if he would do me as well.
3, 2, 1, fight.
See, sometimes I mess up the combos because I'm still getting used to this weapon. I've only started using this weapon, I would say 2 weeks ago. I was testing around with it, but now I'm a bit more comfortable with it. So which is why I am showing you guys how good this weapon is. Hit my immunity and is dead. Okay, this guy wants another piece of me. And let's go.
3, 2, 1, fight.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, he's gone controller. Hopefully I can heal myself. That is where the Eye of Gemini comes in. If I can't, oh, he just broke me again. And I have no shield, so I need to be very on point with the healing. So with this particular build, I would, if I were for survivability, I would change out this or this, but I would keep this in against trollers because it stuns them. Then I would change this out and I would put in Boon of Souls.
2, 1, fight.
Okay, this guy's gone all commando with his backup. One, two, hold. There we go. Oof, that's a lot of damage. Now I'll get my Circle of Destruction to damage him more. Then my shield. And it should be dead. Yeah, there we go. As you can see, this build is perfect for damage and healing. Against trollers, I would suggest you go healing if you don't have more than 300 skill points. Because of my 410 SP, I can just about heal myself through the damage and the heal debuffs. So this was just to show you how good this build actually is, and hopefully this video was useful for some of you guys who did have any doubts. Thank you for watching and take care.